Okay, so this is a project I call our Scary Lane project, and we are going to make a tree lined lane going off into the distance with a big moon at the top, and then some different things that are scary on there, um, and it'll be kind of Halloween themed. So hopefully you can see this. I have an 11 by 17 piece of white paper. I have a ruler, and then you're going to need a pencil and eraser. I'm using a Sharpie, so you can see it well, but you're going to need a pencil and eraser. So this does not have to be an exact, but at about 8 inches or so from the top, I want you to just make a mark there. Hopefully you can see where I did that. And we're going to draw a line across the top. And this is going to be what we call in art a horizon line. And a horizon line is where the sky meets the land. Okay. And it's very important when you're doing something called 2-point perspective. So if I measure across this paper, I know it's 11, but I need to mark on here where the halfway point is. So half of 11, hopefully you know that is 5.5. Going to put a little dot right there. Okay. Then we are going to measure in the same distance from each side. So if you want this road to be really wide, you measure in an inch. If you want it to be not crazy wide, measure in 3 inches, anywhere from there. But whatever you measure, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches, whatever you measure on the one side, you have to measure the same amount in on the other side. So I've done 3 inches from each side, and I've just made a dot. And now I'm going to take my ruler. My ruler is not quite long enough, but I will make it work. And line up my two dots and go right. Don't go over, just go right to there. And I'm just going to extend that out a little bit. Make sure I line up here and go off the page. So that's one side of my lane. And then I touch there again, same spot at the top. Okay. And draw a line down. Oh, didn't get it up there at the top. Okay. So there's a lane, and that is extremely simple 2-point perspective. So you can tell it looks like off in a distance my road is going away from me. Okay. So then the next thing we're going to do is put our moon in there. And you should have some blue lids, I think. And your teachers probably have some that you can go find in with the art supplies I left you in the lockers. But take your lid and trace around it, and there is going to be your moon. Okay. And then we are going to do trees. And this is going to be a trees down the lane, but we want them to kind of be spooky trees. And the trees in front will be taller than the trees behind. Okay. So we'll kind of do something like this, and then we'll want like them to be kind of curly and something like that. Okay. Okay. There's my first tree. Hopefully you can see all that. I'll bring it back out here. Something like this. And remember, you're doing this in pencil, so you can erase the parts. And then on the other side, I want to do a tree not exactly the same, but about the same height. Okay? Make sure that the things look kind of curly and creepy, sometimes like finger like. Just the spookier looking, the better. Okay? Okay, so see how it's not exactly the same, but it's about the same height. Then we'll do another tree here, and this tree will be smaller. Okay, so and not as tall. Okay, and then this one on the same side needs to be, and make sure you're going straight up, parallel to the edge of the paper. Don't, sometimes we tend to want to curve in because this line is curved in, but don't do that. Keep going straight up. Okay, that one. And then let's do another one here. And again, it's much smaller. Okay, going straight up. Okay, and then like one more, and it's pretty little. Okay. Kind of looks like a cactus, but that's okay. All right. So that is our basic drawing. And now I want you to put scary things in there. And you can put them wherever you want, but I want to know that you understand the concept of perspective. So if, and I say whatever you want within reason, there can be no, I don't want knives and hatchets or guns or explosives, things like that. Not necessarily violent in nature, just scary. Okay, if that makes sense. When in doubt, ask your teacher. Okay, but no guns, no knives, no things that you can stab people with or anything like that. Okay, so I want you to draw those within your picture so they can be on your path. I say you need at least 3 scary things in there. Okay, they can be on your path, they can be in the sky, they could be hanging from the tree. But if it's in the front, it needs to be bigger. If it's towards the back, it needs to be smaller. So it's right up here in the lane. It's pretty tall because it needs to be in comparison. What would its height be in comparison to this tree? Let's say you're scared of clowns. You want to put a clown here and you want him to be towards the back. Well, if he's towards the back, he needs to be, about this tall because that makes sense in comparison to this tree right here because that's where he would be. If they're in the sky, if they're close to you in the sky, like let's say you put a witch on a broom and you want her to feel like she's close to you, she'd be pretty big. If you want her to feel like she's far away, make her pretty small. Okay? I hope that makes some sense. So I'm going to put in a couple scary things and I'll show you what I've got here. Okay, so here's my drawing. I've included 3 scary things, maybe 4. So here's my witch, and I made her too big, so I just ran her off the top. So she stayed proportionally correct, and that's okay because she looks like she's flying off the top of the page. So I have a witch. Obviously, she's closer to me. She's in the foreground because she's pretty big. Okay. Then I have a cat that's pretty good size, so it's the closest thing to me. And then my owl is pretty good size sitting in this front tree. I don't know if you can see that very well, but hopefully when we color it, you can. So I made that pretty big. And then I have a snake here that's all along the path, and it's definitely smaller. Okay. So I think I might put like it would be a big spider, but it's so far away, it's not going to look that big. But something like that there in the back. Okay. There, he's way far away. Okay, so we are going to work in chalk pastel, which is not something we work in very often. So I'm going to pause this here and do the next lesson on chalk pastel.